I want to teach you my secret tips to hack the Apple algorithm and get charting, the best way to increase engagement and turn listeners into fans, and how to do your marketing on autopilot. So first off, how to get charting. I just want to tell you that the algorithm, I don't know what's exactly the algorithm is, because that is kind of the nature of an algorithm. However, for Apple Podcasts, I have a pretty good idea of what works and what doesn't, and what will affect your podcast charting and visibility. So, number one, release date. Whatever you do, keep it consistent. But my theory is that store turn day is Thursdays. That's the Apple store turn day. So the kind of homepage and all the category pages, normally just the homepage will change out and have different podcasts and different images, all the rest of it. That happens every Thursday. So there's always more interest and eyes on the pages then, because obviously emails go out to Apple customers then. Number two, reviews. They're so important, particularly when they come in concentrated waves. So if you get a flurry of, even 2 or 3 reviews at a time, that will tell the algorithm that you're worth watching. So, and I'm going to tell you how to encourage people to leave reviews as well a little bit later. So SEO, don't neglect your show notes. If you don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization, and podcasts are obviously going to be all over Google and other search engines, but each podcatcher is essentially a search engine. So don't neglect your show notes, the keywords in the show notes, the episode title, the image titles, and your backlinks. Backlinks are really important. So that is a link on somebody else's website back to yours. Guesting is a really great way to increase your visibility, as is having guests, because they're going to share your podcast on theirs. Maybe they'll put, featured on this podcast. And they'll put a link to your show. That's a backlink. So that tells Google you're worth watching. In any SEO algorithm, it's going to tell the specific website that you're worth watching and you're worth following and you're worth showing to people who are coming to that website. So my hacks, review must-dos. So in every single episode, in your Instagram stories, in your post, if you're ever talking about your podcast, if someone DMs you, ask for a review. Also incentivize through charity donations. For example, you donate £1 for every review. This is something that I used to do. You could pick your favorite review and read it out each week and give the reviewer a mention. You could do a tutorial showing people how to leave it. I really recommend this because it's actually not super intuitive. So people sometimes really don't know how to leave a review. And I would save this somewhere so that you can keep reminding people how to do it. So let's make your listeners super fans and get them binging. Again, be reliable, have a consistent release day, talk about it on all your platforms, in your newsletter, every time a podcast episode is released, on social media. Just show people that you're showing up. Build community. So include your listeners by mentioning reviews, asking for their feedback, make a space for them that's just for them. You could use Instagram story close friends list for that, or you could use a Facebook group. Include your listeners by mentioning reviews, asking for feedback, and making a space that's just for them. And that could be Instagram story close friends. It could be a Facebook group, whatever platform you feel good about. Number 3, share exclusives. Now, I'm not talking about making extra work for yourself. All I'm saying is, in the private space that you create, tell your fans what your plans are. So it could even be, this guest has just accepted, or I'm planning a live episode, or I'm going to take a hiatus over XYZ, and then I'm coming back with something even more exciting. That's a really good way to make them feel special. Okay, this is the good stuff. Podcast marketing. This is doing it in your sleep, sort of. Because that's what we want. We don't want to be spending loads and loads of time doing all this boring stuff. Number 1, when listeners become fans, they're just going to do your marketing for you because they will share your episodes. They'll tell their friends about it. They'll be off and on page SEO, as it were. Number 2, create shareable artwork. And I've got some examples of what I mean by that. But creating really shareable images is just a really good way to get more shares, which sounds really simple. It's not always simple to do. Utilize SEO in your show notes and beyond. This is just another way that you can increase the visibility of your podcast, aka market it while you're sleeping. Workflows. I'm obsessed with workflows. So it can be as simple as canned emails to your guests or to sponsors, or you can do really complicated stuff on Dubsado, but you can automate a lot of admin, making it more shareable in the long run. Pitch podcast critics to be included in roundups. So there'll be lots of, just do a bit of a Google, like top 10 true crime podcasts or whatever, and you'll find blog posts. You can pitch those blog posts, the author, and ask them to be included in roundups. And lastly, combine your shareables with a workflow, and then you've got a bit of gold. So having a workflow where your guest automatically gets an email from you when the episode's live with the shareables and the links and asking them to share is just a no-brainer, really. Here is some examples of my clients' artwork. So full disclosure, building your brand is Liz Mosley, and she is a graphic designer, so you would expect her to be excellent. But hers are just really simple, really great. They tell you all the things that you need to know quickly. Same with Leven. The Better Business